judges, and my dear colleagues. Today we are here to present a final presentation on an application called PhotoTrip, where Yanika is going to present the future steps, Mariia is going to present the financial plan, and I, Divik, am going to present the marketing plan. It has been 2 weeks since we last gave our presentation, so initially we want to give a brief summary about our product. Our application PhotoTrip, it provides a chance to have a photo shoot at any location with professional photographers. It is basically created for the tourist, and this application is inspired by the platforms of Uber and Airbnb. It actually provides a kind of a integration between photographers and photographies. Before starting our presentation, we want to tell you a story. It is a first marketing story of our product. Before 3 or 4 days, I received a text message from a friend of mine in the morning at around 7:30, and he said it was urgent. He wanted a favor from me. I asked him what it was. He said, "Okay, come down." So I just quickly dressed up and I went down to meet him, and he asked me to take photos with cherry blossom trees. And when I asked him, I was like, it was funny. I asked him why he wanted that. So he told me that these cherry blossom trees are just for 2 weeks, and he wanted to have a killer photo with them. So I said, okay. I went out with him. I started taking photos, and after half an hour or something, he got some of the photos that he wanted. And after that, I just like casually, just like that, I told him about this class, about the presentation, about our application. And what he said was, he said, and I quote, "What an idea, dude." And this is a guy who just wanted to take photos in front of cherry blossom trees. We are going to talk about the tourists who go to a destination just once in their lifetime with their loved ones, with their family members, and they want to preserve those memories forever. This photo was actually taken at 8 a.m. in the morning. So initially we want to talk about the value proposition. While proposing the values, the benefits of our product are it provides high definition pictures with professional photographers, which create never-ending memories. The features of this application are: it is a one-tap service. It provides pre and on-the-spot booking for photographers. You experience quality photographs that you can cherish forever, and this application is really user-friendly. Now let's do the STP analysis. The first thing is segmentation. The primary segments of this application are tourists, and that too leisure tourists. The secondary segments are local and social media influencers. The tertiary segments, and this is something of future, we would like to expand our application for functions and marriages as well. Targeting. Initially, we are targeting innovators and early adopters. It constitutes around 16% of the total population. As we have already mentioned in our last presentation, tourists in EU, they make around 485 million visitors every year. And it is around 4% of their common GDP. So it is a pretty big market to start with. Nothing kills a bad company faster than good marketing. So our positioning techniques, it actually includes quality. Quality is our benchmark for that. Simply creating everlasting memories. It is not just our vision, it is also our positioning tactics. Feedbacks, innovative ideas, showing real pictures, user-friendly multilingual application, attitude towards customers. These all things are our positioning tactics. This data is actually taken from a study conducted by Ipson for Google. And this data tells us that 93% of the tourists, before planning their tours, they go for some kind of inspiration. And among those 93% people, 65% people go for online sources. And among those 65% people, 83% people go for social networking, 61% go for search engines, and 42% people go to travel review sites. This actually helped us a lot in making our advertisement strategy. We will provide advertisement on social media, search engines, and travel search sites. Social media includes Facebook, it includes Instagram, it includes YouTube. Search engine sites are like Trivago, Airbnb, etc. Search engines, actually there are two kind of advertisements. The first one is disturbing advertisements. It is like when you go to YouTube, you want to watch a video, but instead of watching your video, you have to watch a 30-second advertisement first, and it is disturbing to your experience. But in terms of search engines, what happens is you are actually searching for the same thing, but by providing our advertisement, we are just prioritizing our advertisement above all the other people. So in that case, search engine optimization is also necessary for search engines. This is a kind of a prototype that we are looking for. This is a Facebook advertisement prototype. Now I would request Mariia to take over and talk about the financial plans.
In our financial plan, we briefly estimated our potential costs and income. I'd like to start with our cost estimation. For our application development, we estimated 6 necessary parts of our application. It's GPS map and tracking, registration and matching system, notification and communication service, payment system, information about every photographer, and rating. So we estimated each part and summed it all together, and this estimation we checked whether it is feasible with different analytics estimates, like create a platform like an Uber or create a site as an Airbnb. Actually, our estimation, since it's not that global from the beginning, and we are going to increase our customer base and develop our application in the process, our initial cost estimation is closer to a low bound of required expenses for the application. We also, in our costs and income, we estimated that our business is highly dependent on seasons, and it's a little bit hard to predict our customers' behavior. So for our income estimation, we decided to pursue conservative approach, and we figured out how many subscribers can attract a new website or a new application, and we also went with a lower bound. So we got like 50 in a weekly basis. Despite the fact that the new IT services and applications, they can grow initially in average like 40 or 50%, we estimated our potential growth as 15% because it's really hard to really predict how our customers will behave. We expect a high inflow of photographers initially. However, for our travelers, it's a little bit harder. That's why we lowered this percentage. And despite the fact that we pursued conservative approach, we think that we can break even in 10 months and pay back our initial investment in 20 months from our launch. And after this, I'd like to ask Yanika to talk about our future steps.
Thank you, Mariia. Next, I would like to talk about the future plan. Our team, we divided our photo trip application into 3 years plan, starting from 2017 to 2019, which we will differently focus in each year. For the first year, we would like to successfully launch the application through Europe region first and increasing the brand awareness and the branding. The second year, 2018, is targeting more on local people and also more sustainable for the application. And lastly, 2019 is more seeking for expansions and opportunities for another regions. Now let's take a look into each year. For 2017, as we have been mentioning for the previous presentation, that we would like to successfully focus on the European margin and the market. So we would like to focus on the photo trip applications launching in European regions first. And by doing so, we work as middle persons between the photographers and the customer. Then our business cannot survive without them. So it means that we have to increase a lot of credibility, trust, branding, and increasing the number of users more and more. Then, apart from giving the service, we would like to focus on how to handle the customer complaints and the bad reviews. That's why we also created the customer relation developments to deal with the refunds policy and also customer bad reviews. According to this code, trust is like as oxygen for our company, but not just only for our service, but trust and credibility is very important for every business. This is why we have a very tight refund policies according to the agreements before they sign up in order to prevent the customer facing a last-minute cancellation from the photographers or inappropriate manners. Moving to 2018, we would like to increase a little bit more on local people in European regions by increasing around 10% more, and we're going to offer a lot of variety services based on the business purposes. For example, for the business use, like a startup company who have a limited budget but wanted to have a professional pictures or professional events, press conference, or products, we can serve this purpose. And apart from this, the training session is also very important to sustainable and keeping our high active photographers. By doing so, we would like to invite the trainers and the expert to make a training and sharpen the skills of the active photographers regardless to the level. By gonna start from rotating from country to country. By doing so, we can create the word of mouth to the photographers, increasing more users in the future as well. Moreover, we would like to offer a lot of different translation into each languages according to the real data who is our real customer, apart from American like English and Chinese. When we talk about translating, maybe the cost is very high, and actually it's not that high. It costs only 15 cents per words here by using this software. It's called Translation Memories. Next is 2019. We would like to seek the global expansions according to the data we have been presented earlier that our tentative region is European and the secondly is Asia. So we would like to focus more on ASEAN country. For ASEAN country, the reasons we're focusing on this thing is that they've been having a lot of campaigns encouraging a lot of tourists coming over to ASEAN's tourism country. So the tourism development, they're not governments, but they are organizations from each country that work together in order to encourage more tourism. By doing so, we can create more targeting for tourism who come into Asian country. And apart from this, do a collaborations with a similar service applications, which we will explain this after the presentation here. And lastly, for European regions, offering more in filming and recording and filming services, like a video service. This is one of the collaboration opportunities. The application called Glance App is start from 2015 from the United States. This one is an application very similar to our platforms, but offering the beauty service from head to toes, like a hairdressers, the makeup, the nail polish, and they are growing very successfully. Since last year, they grew to European regions, Europe, UK, and Paris. And this year, they have a plan to enter Asian market as well, starting from Singapore and Malaysia. By doing so, it's like a win-win situations to create the credibilities, and it's going to be harder for others applications to copy our application as we have more customer base in the background. And next is the tentative ASEAN's Culture and Tourism Contest. We can do collaborations with the ASEAN's tourism development teams by having a photo contest and taking a pictures, sharing with them. In return, we can give them a big logo as a sponsorship in our application. Talking about the challenge and solutions, as we have been discussing a lot about the supply and demand of the photographers and the clients, meeting the customer feedback, facing a lot of inappropriate manner for the photographers, we can deal with having the CRM support teams, dealing with the online material support for photographers, and a lot of agreements for dealing with the improper manners. If you have any further questions for the challenges or any other point, we can talk and discuss about this more. Thank you for your attention.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Okay, very good. Okay, so we'll just limit the questions to the judges today to save time. So, David,
Sure. On the financial side, I have a
Yeah.
question on the financial side. Could you put that chart back up? I'll follow up harder question. Yeah, that's
Here.
Between them.
that one. Okay. Yeah, because I didn't actually see the salary in there. I first saw it.
Oh.
Yeah, I can see it now. Because obviously there's a lot of development that's necessary, a lot of management that's necessary. So these people are these three people yourselves or?
We start from ourselves, of course, and we're planning to work for like checking credibility of our photographers, and our application development. We're going to give it like a remote work. That's why the estimation for our application development, it goes further in the first year, partially, and it doubles, I guess, in the first year. So these people who work with our application, who developed our application for the same probably rate, salary rate, we're going to hire them for this remote work in order to develop this application further.
Okay.
It's sort of a question, but an observation, I think, on both the cost estimation and the whole financial projections. You have a lot of data, but I can't do math in my head fast enough to figure out what it all meant. So I think you need to present figures, not the lead up to the final figures. So can you go to the next one, for example? Yeah, I mean, what does this mean? What's the what's the bottom line? What's the number that it's going to produce on a monthly, quarterly, and annual basis? What's the revenue number? I mean, you're telling me how you're going to figure out what the revenue number is, but in the time available, and then can I see the next one?
Here it's actually a number, amount in thousands of
Right,
dollars.
but
That's our
right, but again, some of us are rather, old-fashioned. It would be good to have a number, not a number that I have to then figure out, how many zeros go with that number. What I mean? I'd like to see 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, 15,000, because it's just obvious, right, it's right there, it's obvious what it is. And then if somebody wants to know more about how you got there, they can go back to this. My only other comment is that you tended, I think, to provide, you picked the sort of the low number on a lot of things, including costs, and I think one of the things that I've learned that's the most important, I mean, it's hard to practice because you think you're giving people a reason to reject you, but it's better to under-promise and over-perform than over-promise and underperform. And I would err on the side of overstating, but explain that that's what you're doing. It's like, we think this is the number, but for our pro forma purposes, we're adding 20%. Because that's what your audience is going to do anyway. Unless they find your original numbers so unrealistic that they just go, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, I would support you on the underestimating, because the costs all look a little bit on the light side. The revenue also looks on the light side, and even because we're in an international group here. What is income? Is that revenue or is that profit?
It's profit.
Yeah, it'd be nice. And then the question would be, would you be satisfied with a profit of 125 split 3 ways?
Since actually for costs, the initial cost we went with a lower bound. However, if we sum all together, all developments that we're going to do during the first year, it goes above average and higher. So in total, actually, if we go and do any analyst reports, they say, for example, for creating like a platform like an Uber, it will take 12,000 per platform, like iOS or Android, from that number and to around like $100,000. Ours in total actually goes to closer to $100,000, to 70. In total, we are going to really set everything, and it should work like globally. That's why initial cost we keep it low. However, all costs for this platform to set it and make it work, it actually goes above average. That's why our costs are not underestimated. We tried actually go to higher costs. The only thing we decrease is our salaries.
Just to sort of kind of underscore what I said before about putting the numbers on, I didn't see until just now that income in the third year number, because I mean it's partly a design issue, right? It's in very small type in the upper right hand corner. And I'm looking at this chart, sort of sitting here trying to figure out, whoa, what does this mean? And there's actually a number up there that I never saw.
We apologize for
No, I mean, there's nothing to apologize for. It's just, you know, you have to be attentive to. I mean, you have to know all this detail, but you don't necessarily have to present the detail as your top line item. You need to present the numbers as the top line item, and then have this as backup if somebody wants to dig into it.
Okay, I think we'll have to end it there. Okay, thank you. Okay, so we move this along, and so Nidhi and Anna, please come up.